All right, good to see you guys. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to hide the current comment just for a tiny bit. Hopefully you guys can see all this. I've got my notes. Yeah, I'm starting to, great to see you, by the way. Great to see you, Charles Latora. Great to see you, Tolemykus. Please let me know what you guys are up to this week, and what you have been up to. Also, if you guys did manage to remember a game or something like that you've played that's World War I related, please let me know. I'd like to pop that into the thing for sure. Like I said, I know that like some people, like I said, once we get onto like the SPI site or something like that and take a look around, I'm hoping that those things will jog people's memory and we can add up onto that. I'll wait just a tiny little bit longer for to start up the history heroes, who or what am I in World War I. Excuse me, I'm just going to get some water. And I'm telling you one thing. Oh, Meandering Mike. Oh, no. That's, yeah. Hopefully it's not, if your hot water, Meandering Mike says his hot water heater is malfunctioning. Hopefully that's, well, hopefully it's not the whole tank kind of thing and like, pouring water out onto your basement or whatever, or well, actually, well, no, you live in a proper climate where you're probably not like Charles Latora, be able to have that in his garage or whatever. Yeah, I'll start up the history heroes, who or what am I in World War I soon, but I'm going to say this. Well, I'm calling them treats. I think we have 3 treats today. One of them is actually the history heroes, who or what am I in World War I. There's a hint. I don't want to say it too much. For example, like Tolemykus last week seemed to have clued in pretty quick when I was alluding to, or no, it was a few weeks ago there with Cherami. Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but I'll say this. Something staring you in the face for the hint, or for who or what am I in World War I. How about that? And it ain't me. The second treat is if Charles Latora would be here today, and he is, so we're going to be hopefully be able to see that. It was something that it's the page that I went to. It's not. It was like it was done in 1921, and I was like, well, I'm not going to show it because it's not proper World War I kind of thing or whatever. And it was like, and then Charles Latora, you made a comment when I was talking about some of the 3D printed planes that I had. Was painting up, and you said, "Oh, how about doing Eddie Rickenbacker's plane?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I would love to because I love the SPAD 13, and that's what he flew." I don't know if he flew all the time, but anyways, I'm going to just shut up. We'll see it soon, but that's the second treat. And then the third treat is if Gamers with Coffee shows up, we'll see a third treat. And that'll be that. I'll give you your first. Did everybody see Professor Latora's weekly head scratcher? If not, I'll pop it on. I'll have to find it again. Here we go. In what country was a secret anti-French society created in 1916? So that's Professor Latora's weekly head scratcher, man. And I'm just going to say this to Charles Latora and anybody else that's participates on these live streams. I mean, but my God, I know that we get very friendly and whatnot, and know like what we're what each of us are doing and that type of stuff. But please don't ever feel like obligated, like Charles Latora, like you have to do something every week or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, come and go as you please. That's the only obligation of any of the participants, as far as I'm concerned, for this live show is me. You know what I mean? And that's that. All right. Good morning. Hello from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. William Arends says, yeah, great to see you. And you probably got dumped a lot of snow as we did, didn't we? Meandering Mike says, French toast land. You little. Well, he gets. Well, actually, this isn't mine. This is. I'm not going to say anything. This is Charles Latora's segment there. The other thing is okay. I'm going to pop in mine. I'm going to say France. That's I'm going to be a sneaky little devil because you seem to be one of these people that like to be a bit sneaky, Charles Latora. So I'm going to say that France had a secret anti-French society. How's that? That's going to be my my little whatever. Okay, here I'm going to give you the first clue. I'm going to pop it up. Oh gosh, and okay, this was a really enjoyable one. I was so glad that I was able to use this this Who or What Am I trivia one appropriately, as far as I'm concerned. I think this is a real good one. So there we go. Although I flew, I was actually part of the Imperial German Navy. Who am I? And I'll put it in the comments once I can grab. Yeah, another thing too, I was saying it's going to be another thing that I'm talking about with the live stream. William Arends says Kitchener's had the first real snow of the season. Yeah, we got walloped pretty good there. Lucky for me, I got up pretty early, shoveled it when it was light because now it's around 0 or so and it's not going too good. Charles Latora says actually a colony, not an independent country at the time. Okay, thanks for that. Now I obviously didn't get it right. And I hope we do eventually get to this other spot, which I would like to as well, which is there. I got to put it in the comments. Is that talk about the Lone Warrior 12 Days of Christmas quiz that they had. I think I forgot to mention it. Well, I had mentioned it that it was on. The answers are out. I got 1 out of 12. Oh my God. There you go. Okay. Although I flew as actually part of the Imperial German Navy. Who am I? Yeah, the other thing I was thinking about it. I'm starting to get neck and arm and back pain. I'm sure it's partially due to this. And the other thing too, Meandering Mike, you had mentioned it is, about liking the maps. And I think McMurray mentioned it last week or something, or it was on that impromptu Wednesday night live stream that Mini WarMutt did. I want to get back to the maps, especially with when we start talking about the week that was and that type of stuff. One thing is yet again about the structure and stuff. It was maybe potentially a little bit of a warning sign. Was I don't just want to read out what happened in the week that was every week. I think one of the big warning signs for me was when we were reading out, or I was reading, and it was like, what the heck? How did the Russians get to Tehran? And I'm like, I don't remember any of that. And obviously I had read it and been writing it down probably several times and mentioned it several times, but I was getting lost in the weeds with so much detail. And I was thinking, wait a minute, we're just going from 1915, 1916 now. We've already talked a little bit about it, about, the shift on over. And I thought, well, maybe this will be a good time to remind me to try to contextualize, try to like recap stuff, that type of thing. And I think the war summary, even though I'm not a big, I don't think I'm a great reader or whatever, reading out that war summary, or at least us taking a look at it, I think is going to help put things into perspective. And I would also like to go over, I wrote down a bunch of notes or whatever, but as in writing down the countries, like, okay, Italy, what the heck was going on with there? And try to just go off from my head. And maybe we can start seeing where the clear bits are, the foggy bits are, and the dark bits are, and be able to start filling in those gaps is what I'm hoping we'll be able to do. Charles Latora says, Oswald Bolke spelling. I know who you're talking about, the guy who did the dictum there, the aviation thing. Well, you're going to get a point. You are incorrect, and great. So now I can put in the second clue. This is good. I thought I'm getting. Well, remember, I'm making these up now because I can't rely on the cards. We went through them all. So there's the second one. I know these are. Oh my God, you son of a bee. Okay, this is the problem, Meandering. I need to be specific. So you're going to get some points there, but I need the specific name of. So you got the airship. You got it. It's an airship. I need the specific name of the airship. Mini WarMutt, great to see you taking a shot in the dark. Werner Voss, you're incorrect. Great to see you, as I said, and you're going to get a point anyways for doing it. Oh gosh. This is nice. So I've been mentioned in at least 5 novels, and I'll put that in the comments as well. Oops, I got rid of the window for the comments here. So I know that this clue is ridiculously easy. It's like, Meandering Mike says Graf Zeppelin. No. I hope I'm not curt when I go like no or whatever. I'm not trying to be like that. I've been mentioned in at least 5 novels. Who am I? Okay, I'm going to pop off another one here. This one, I think, will be the clinker. I began my service in 1917, and despite all the time that has passed, I still hold a world record for one of my missions. Who am I? And I'll put that in the comments. Oh, gosh, guys. God. It's when you see it, I think you're going to go, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm not kidding you. Oh, well done, Mini WarMutt. Winnie Moore. I got to pop. I'll pop that one. Robert Plant of Led Zeppelin. There you go. All right. Did I show it, or I don't know if it did it? No. There. There we go. And I'll put this in comments. I'm going to go that one. So you're going to get another point. So you didn't get there. I didn't. I'll put it in a bit more. Let me get back to my notes. Yeah, the other thing is too, like I said before, I want to stand up. I feel so much better standing up. So I'm gonna. I just need a couple of people to come over and help me out because I have to start rearranging a lot more stuff. But I can see where it's going to be at, where I would like to stand up and be able to point to the maps and so on and so forth, right? And be less clunky with the technology. Obviously, I know I still have to go to websites and take a look at this, that, or the other thing, but I don't want to rely so much on that. I want to be a bit more moving parts kind of thing. William Arends says Goring. Oh, gosh, I'm really liking the way you guys are going here. Be there in 10. Meander Mike says Hindenburg. No, goodness gracious. Here I go. It's like you guys say, okay, like it's really going to happen now. So my mission was one way and nobody expected me to make it back. Who am I? It's staring you in the face, guys. It's staring you in the face. I'm not kidding, or it was staring you in the face. It will once I can't say that because then if I did, then you'll know what I'm talking about and I shouldn't do that. So did I put it in there? No, hold on. My mission was one way and nobody expected me to make it back. Who am I? No way. Okay. Maybe we'll just go with this and that way I can get rid of it and then we'll just go on to the next thing, I think. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. I got it. And I'll put it in the comments first. Gosh, I hope I didn't do it too hard of one. I set off from Bulgaria to provide aid to General Lettow Vorbeck in German East Africa. Who am I? Boink. Yes, actually, the answer is kind of staring you in the face. Goodness. I'll give you the last clue, and then we're off to. I'll give you the answer, and maybe we'll just have to give it to Meandering Mike. It's partial whatever's because he did start off the airship thingamabob. So I almost made it, and despite rumors to the contrary, I did not abandon the mission and turn back due to British trickery. Who am I? He must have a book title behind him. All right, I'm going to get rid of the banners. And there's your second staring you in the face. All right. It was the airship L59. That's why when I was like, okay, it's the 59th, it's their 59th live stream. I was like, okay, I get to use L59. There you go. Meandering Mike does it. Well, like I said, you'll continue getting some points here. Okay, hold on here. I want to get to show the airship. And here's the neato thing. So this is a, hold on, I got to present the thing is, I wanted, this is the first, and you guys can see this, excellent. So this obviously this is a plastic model kit, but it was the first time I'd ever seen. I've got a model kit upstairs for a blimp, and I wanted to do L59. And I was like, I don't even know what color it was or any of this stuff. So I found this on the site, and we're gonna go. Hold on, I gotta grab his. I gotta grab the guy's thing, and I went to. So, anyways, L59. Well, hold on here. Let me get into it. I'm going to get rid of this bit. So I contacted the person that has the website because I was like, do you mind if I use your image? And he was like, no worries at all. And then he said, by the way, I do. I'm not a. Hold on here. Present. Share screen. Okay, you guys can see it. I'll make me a little. That's not too bad. Meandering says, it was the manufacturer that started with L. Yep, and Mini WarMutt says, already I'll be painting and listening to you chat about World War I. Right on. So anyways, like I said, I saw this guy's website, and then I was like, oh, finally, I can actually see like what somebody did, painted it, and then I contacted him. We'll go up to his thing, and he said, actually, Chris, I'm not a builder. I'm just a collector. So we're going to go all the way up to his things. But as you can see, I was like, gosh, I'm going to go to the main page there. So here, take a look at his book collection too. Here, I'll get rid of me so that way we can see it a bit more there. And he's also got he says that he's got a bunch of quizzes that you can go to here. There they are. And and he'll do like, you have to figure out what are the connections. Well, first of all, I guess identify these ships, and then what are their connections. And I thought maybe you guys would want to take a look at that. So I'm going to get rid of that. Boink. So we did him. So that was it. The Who or What Am I in World War I this week was L59. I thought, well, it kind of makes sense. And then we're going to now do the gal and guy of the week. I think is a good thing to do. So hold on, I got to go and grab the picture. Where are you? I'm in the wrong thing, majig. There we go. Meandering says, one of these things is not like the other. Oh, good morning, Zoe Dufour. Great to see you. So there we go. Actually good timing in some ways, because I did ask Zoe Dufour, one of the participants there, if she would help me narrate some of the stuff, like maybe do some of the headlines later on. Like we're recorded ahead of time, and then she can and pop it in. Meandering says, hi, Zoe. I just thought to mix it up, I thought it would be kind of nice to have another voice do some of the narration and that type of stuff. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, here, let me present. So this is the neat thing, is this week we actually I got a double dose. I got to do the guy and the gal in one shot, which is fantastic. You guys can see this, and I can put it in the banners section because I've already got it there. There. So that's the 360th Prisoners of War Company, Bavarian peasant costumes in the Prisoner of War concert party. I don't know what year it was, but I was like, hey, perfect. I get to nail the guy and gal pinup picture with one shot. So I thought that was good. So there you go. And yet again, thank you, Meandering Mike, for adding to this, adding to our live streams. I think it's great. What else do I have? Yeah, because I get to find out more and more stuff, and I don't know about you guys, but I love it. Okay, so now we're going to go to let's go to the World War I news stuff. There's not a ton of stuff, but there's a fair amount. Okay, the first one I'm going to do, and hopefully I'm not going to, I don't think, it's this. I don't think you guys can see too much of my email stuff. Hold on here. There we go. Hold on here. There. So this is on today at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's from the World War I Historical Association. It's a Zoom meeting. I'm probably going to do it. It's about 1923. Pardon me, yet again, being a snob, I'm like, it's, you know what I mean? Not world, but I'm like, Chris, this is probably really help, yet again, contextualize stuff of like what happens, because we're eventually going to get to Versailles and all that stuff in 1919 and everything. So, you know, this will help. Zoe Dufour says, hi, Mike. And yeah, so that's the first one. Now, I'm going to stop the screen for a second, and then we're going to go off to, yep, like I said, I want to, I'll change the location. I would like to go back to the living room so I can stand up, use the maps, be a bit more organic or whatever, but I'm going to need help moving stuff around. I just think it'd be really nice to do. I also think that if I start rehearsing a little bit more with some of the segments, I won't feel so rushed later on, and we end up with a bunch of orphans, orphan topics, and don't feel so compressed. And it would allow me to, well, hopefully provide better content and whatnot for you guys. I'm hoping, anyways. So Gamers with Coffee's not here, so we're not going to be able to see the. Oh, I got to get rid of the banners. So we may not see the third treat, but we're eventually going to see the treat. It just maybe next week or whatever, or the week after that. Yet again, and also when you, I don't know about you guys, when I saw Bob's, the ship collector, his site there, and all the books in the back, I was yet again reminded, hey, guess who's coming back next week? Harold Bosma. From his month-long vacation there. I remember he was like, loving the whole book thing, and I think it would be great to augment the live streams in this with us, and I'll just host it on like my Freenet site or something. It's not going to happen right now, I can tell you that much, but I'd love to have it's just the community channel on YouTube does not allow me to do certain things that I'd like to do, so I'm going to have to, like I said, augment it with use other tools, which will be putting it on a data, like I'll put a database, you know, and people can go from there. I think it'd be great because we're amassing like a huge amount of people suggesting books left, right, and center, and they're getting lost, kind of thing. I don't want that to happen. Also, another thing would be if you guys ever want help with game rules. Please mention them in the comments. For example, I think I said last week that I wanted to try the over-the-top, the Brusilov offensive scenario in that game. And I was like, my head, I just, there's too many concepts for me that I'm just not there yet. And I was like, I got to put this aside. And I was like, I need to talk this out with somebody. And then I was like, well, maybe that would be a perfect thing to do. The only thing I did actually was end up reading the person's designer notes, which were really nice. And I was like, oh, darn it, I'd like to do this, but it's just, there's too many concepts that I like. I'm just, yeah, it's a bridge too far for my head right now. So I was like, okay, but yet again, other people have got experience and I'd love to, you know, talk about it. Okay. So I've done that little bit. Nope. You're not going to see that bit. Western Front Association. Hold on. I'm going to grab see if I can find it here. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's go to the treat because he's because Charles Latora is here. So let me pop it in the thing. And Mr. Charles Latora, this is because you had mentioned the SPAD, Eddie Rickenbacker flying it, and or you said, hey, how about doing Eddie Rickenbacker's plane? And I was like, yes, please. The main reason is he flew a SPAD 13, and it's my favorite plane. Anyways, I found this website a while back, and like I said, because it's dated 1921, I didn't want to bring it up, even though I found it really interesting. And well, it's just the narration. The person gets right into it. He does a test flight. Oh, there's Eddie Rickenbacker. And I will say this, and I think I'm not sure if it was Mini WarMutt who confirmed with me, or if it was Tolemykus earlier on in the week when I had mentioned that the Academy 1 to 72 SPAD 13 plastic model kit is a great beginner's kit as far as I'm concerned. I just, in general, I think this plane is a pretty easy one. I mean, look at the straight up and down struts and that type of stuff. There's not, look at this. I just thought this was really fun to read when I did there. This airplane taxis very easily, even in high wind and so on and so forth. I just thought you guys, well, when Charles Latora mentioned it, I'll stop the screen. Charles Latora, when you had mentioned that, like I said, you wanted me to maybe paint Eddie Rickenbacker's plane, I was like, okay, you gave me an in to pop this link in and talk about it, even though it's not officially World War I kind of thing. Okay, did that. Not so quiet on the Western Front podcasts. I'm just going to make sure I'm way down here. Okay, Tolemykus, okay, it wasn't you then? Okay. Let me grab the link here. They did 2 this week, which I was really surprised at. I listened to this one last night, and it was on generals. Oh, good. It didn't automatically start, which I thought it would. So I will put these in the pop these into the link thing later on. I really enjoyed listening to it. I will say this yet again, because I did finish reading this book this week, the Trench Warfare book. That book has affected me so much on my outlook of how to look at the war now, that when I was listening to these guys talk about general, it's trying to get rid of some of the myths. It's primarily they focus on the British, on the British generals. A lot of were they callous, were they chateau generals and all that type of stuff. It's neat though, because they're drawing conclusions, and part of me now has been affected so much by this book. I'm like, I wouldn't draw that conclusion not anymore. I would have, or I would have just went with it. Hold on here. Let's see if I can find this one. So this one I'm excited. I'm hoping to be able to go to. I'm going to have to take the day off, that's for sure. And I think I can do this. It'll just auto pop you in. I want to make sure you're at 150% though. Hold on. Yeah, see, it's not doing that again. There we go. Excellent. So this is coming up. I certainly do want to go to that, but it's in the middle of the day. I can't remember, 2 o'clock or 10 o'clock or something like that. So, but I mean, as if I'm going to miss this. I mean, come on, give me a break. So I'm going to that. Then I did mention that the Jesse Alexander from the Great War is going to be doing a Zoom talk for the Central Ontario branch for the Western Front Association. I guess he's a member of them, and so am I. So I got invited to it. And if you don't think I'm going to that, you're out of your mind. However, I want to show you that this is what I think he's going to be talking about is already available there. And I just want to make sure it's still at 150. Does it keep doing that, you little brat? So there. So yeah, that's going to be, well, it's already on. It's already up there. So I think that's what he's going to be talking. Maybe it's just we're going to be watching him there. But it sounded like it was going to be live. But whatever. I'll take what I can. That's for sure. Oh yes, this one here is the World War I Historical Association chapter meetings. I think I mentioned that. Also, that this guy here. Hold on here. Let me get rid of this because I'm getting too many windows open. This guy, I don't know if you guys, well, I know some of you guys will know who he is. Norm Christie, a very famous Canadian historian guy. Anyways, he's, I don't have the money for this, I wish. Zoe Dufour says, I might be able to go to the one on the 30th. Oh, fantastic. Not this week then, which would be the evening one, I guess. So Norm Christie is also a member of the Central Ontario Western Front Association, and he's arranging a tour in May to go to France and Belgium. And right now, just asking any of us if we're interested. I'm obviously interested, but I also have to be realistic, and I won't be going there. Let's go to the. I want to make sure that you guys see it, because you guys like quizzes, that's for sure. And this is the Lone Warrior 12 Days of Christmas quiz. I'm just going to make sure yet again that it's at. I wish I could keep it auto, whatever. So that's the Christmas War Games quiz. The answers are up. Like I said, I only got 1 out of 12 right. Surprise, surprise! It was on World War I. The other ones, I was like, I don't know what in the world you're talking about. Also, this, like I said, I wanted to start reading up on the Brusilov offensive and finding out a little bit more, since we're going to be. It's a biggie. It's coming up this spring, summer, I guess. There. And I'm going to make sure yet again. Oh, it's at 150. Wow. So this is a really, really good episode. It's one of their specials, 30-minute one. I've watched it twice now. It's a really darn good one. But and it starts talking a little bit about what we were talking about of. They were saying that this year we're going to start seeing the beginnings of infiltration tactics being introduced, and like the stormtroopers and whatnot. And Brusilov and whatnot is starting to do that. But did the SPAD test flight? We're done that. Okay, I do want to do this. Then we're doing good time. Okay, good. Because I want to make sure that there are some orphans that we've been doing, and I want to get rid of a couple right here, right now, and I think they'll help later on. So this one I think I'd mentioned before. I want to make sure that we're at 150%. Nope. Okay. Is the McMaster University trench maps and aerial photographs. It's incredible. That is for sure. What I didn't realize, I hadn't gone through all of this stuff. And then it'll show you how all the references here, where they got their stuff, and the guides. And that's when I went, oh my goodness gracious me. Remember we were talking about this with Hex to Hex, and hopefully because Hex to Hex used to teach high school kids about how to read military maps and so on and so forth. And I thought, geez, wouldn't this be nice to do, be able to do it? Look at this. All this stuff, especially for some of us who want to get into like making their own games and maps or whatever. Geez, I mean, obviously this is at a certain scale, but still, I'd also like to see. I just thought you guys would want to take a look at it. Like I said, I'll put it in the sources and links. I didn't put it in yet because I was worried that if I did, I was going to show you guys the L59 thing. But there you go. I thought maybe you guys would want to take a look at that at some point. Like I wanted to bring this up yet again, and I'm not going to go into the full on what's in here. I just wanted to bring this up. Here's another orphan. We're not going to talk too much about it because it's yet again. Did I show this bit? This little tiny bit? I think I had just a little bit here. No, that's the wrong dude. But he's the founder of the Senussi back in the mid-19th century. It's this. That's why I'm here. It's for this map. I wanted to see how much of the extent. Like, I just think this is going to be a really good map to use at some point. Let me get out of here. I want to get out. How do I do this? How do we get out of here? There we go. Okay. Goodness gracious me. So did I grab the right website link? It's just because here it is. This is the one I want to show you guys. I think. Yes. And like I said, this is a gray area. Say if you had asked me a couple of weeks ago about what was going on with the Senussi revolt up in North Africa and whatnot, I think I would be a little bit more on the ball about it. But I've let things slide in my head. But yet again, when we start talking about the week that was, what was going on, and to contextualize, this stuff is going on right now. You know what I mean? Up in North Africa, that the Italians and the British are having not a great time, and the Ottomans and the Germans only have to basically are just supplying weapons, ammunition and whatnot, and money or whatever, and no men, and they're tying up. I think they were saying up to 50,000 troops that could, on what is that? I don't. What is that like? Almost like an entire corps, and that's pretty big. What else did I want to take a look at? I think now we're going to go to the week that was. So I'm going to stop sharing for a second and get rid of this. I don't think I need to go to here. Yeah, and I'll pop in a bunch of other links that I had, and maybe we'll start talking about the Senussi at some point. But hopefully, if you guys want to explore a bit more about that, you can go to the links, like for example, like the Nebula podcast with Dr. Vanda Wilcox, and where she talks about Ilia's empire and so on and so forth. That would be nice. One thing I will say about the contextualization or what's going on with the battles and whatnot in 1916, I did look up, or I wanted to find out. Meandering Mike, you purchased the game earlier this week, and I've got it upstairs. I just have the map out. Suez 1916 there from Decision Games. I was like, oh, I'll take a look at it and see. I'm somewhat familiar with the fire and movement system, so it's not going to be like trying to figure out over the top for me. So I was like, okay, let's go and see if the Weltkrieg has that one, and it doesn't. What I thought was rather surprising, maybe you guys don't. He's got the relief of Kut and Gallipoli and so on and so forth, and yet does he have Gallipoli? Yes, he does. And but there's no. I don't see the first Suez attack. I don't see the second one. I found that really. He just focuses straight over towards, I guess, 1918 when they're going after Jerusalem or whatever. Charles Latora says, "I'm back. I didn't even know you were gone." So there you go. Is the other thing too is remember this is like I would say a poor man's version of that Ottoman book we were looking at. That's $160 Canadian. This one has one full complete chapter on the second Suez attack there by the Ottomans. So I thought that would be kind of neat to take a look at. All right, I'm going to start going off into the week and the war summary and all that stuff. I think so. I've got to start sharing. That's it. We got that. I've got that. I'm going to start taking a look. Boink. So we'll take a look. Good. You guys can see that. And when we get to, and also I would like to, if you guys do, I think, well, we got tons of time. We got 20 minutes. Is take a quickie look and just zip through some of the headlines that are available at the Globe thing. There's just so many, and there's no way I want to read or write them down. But I would like you to see them, and if there's some that you strike your fancy, please let me know in the comments. Go, hey, Chris, can you pop on that one? That looks really interesting. Meandering Mike says there is a game, Sand in the Whirlwind, of the Suez, the first one or the second one. That would be yeah. Please let me know. So just taking a look at this. Okay. Why you guys take a read? How's that? Because I don't want to read this. I'll try to tell you what I know of what's been going on, and maybe that'll help me later on. Like I said about contextualizing stuff. Is okay. So we just had the back in November and whatnot, the Battle of Loos with this third Battle of Champagne. I think it's the third. And then John French, the head of the BEF there up in the Western Front there, has been, resigned and being replaced by Haig. And it is fascinating when, like last night, when I was listening to the to the podcast there on generals, and they just keep talking about Haig, and they're like, oh, you can see the big shift of focus. And I'm like, you're darn right, there's a big shift of focus. Haig has really, so we're going to see that. We're going to see a big change in the way it's not just because the BEF and whatnot have got, the Kitchener's army coming through now. It's Haig has got a different mindset on the way the war is going to be waged, and we're going to start seeing that big time. And one of the big time things, and it was mentioned here, not directly, but he alludes to it while he mentions Haig in it, and then these guys mention Haig afterwards. They don't mention that bit, but it's like you can connect, at least I'm starting to connect the dots, is one of the things, Meandering Mike says, first off, what? There is really one on the, oh my God, Meandering Mike, that is so cool. Oh my God, thanks for mentioning that one. That is a dandy. I really, really want to take a look at that then. Let's pop it on because I keep forgetting about that I can show that. The Anglo-Senussi Campaign, 1915, 1916. Wicked. This is why I'm loving this freaking live stream, man. Oh, the stuff that just comes out of this is amazing. I'm going to show that. Old game from Khyber Pass Games. Thank you. Thank you. Is Haig start, if you look at the, take a look at the trench raids. There's your biggie. Look at the amount of trench raids that I understand it's got a lot to do with technology change and so on and so forth over time. You can't really, maybe it's not apples to apples like 1914 to 1916 or 15, whatever. What I'm saying though is with Haig changing, with Haig coming in, trench raiding skyrockets. That's all I got to say. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to get into the editorializing or any of that. Sorry if I'm moving too quick here. I'm sorry about that. So the other thing is, yes, Sir Archibald Murray, there's a switch over down in Mesopotamia there. And I think one of the very first things this guy does is clue in that if we're ever going to mount an offensive towards Jerusalem, we're going to need water and a lot of it. And I think one of the first things he does, I'm not sure, because this was, that's from somewhere else I was reading. He starts building a water pipeline, like right off the bat, kind of thing. And that's one of his first things. He's no dummy. What else do we have? We know, well, we're going to see later, when we get into the summary. Remember, we were talking that the War Council or whatever, the Entente have got together and have said, okay, if anybody gets attacked, we're all going to make an attack. Like one attacks, we all do attacks. We have to keep the Central Powers off balance. It was a damn good year. Let's be honest. It was a damn good year for the Central Powers, if you want to look at it overall. Italy didn't do too damn well, did they? I mean, what you expect? Running up mountains without a helmet, towards positions. I mean, give me a break. We had the Great Retreat, the Golitsa Tarnów breakthrough, monstrously pushes the Russians back, so much so that many of the German high command believe that they can actually start talking a separate peace with the Russians and get them to stop. So we've got that. But then yet again, you can say it's been a good year. And then also with the Ottomans pushing the Brits out of Gallipoli. I wouldn't, maybe not look for the Ottoman bit, is what I'm saying, for attrition. But the other ones, yeah. But as we know, there's been a lot of attrition. I can't remember who it was mentioned in one of my comments about that Austro-Hungarian soldiers get a short end of the stick, or a bad rep. And it's like, yes, they do. But you can see at the very beginning with 12 languages, and you've got most of your officer corps wiped out late 1914, 1915. How you replace that, those type of things, like just the language. And I mean, your combat effectiveness is out the window. Montenegro has been invaded by by Austro-Hungary now. And we got the Bulgarians pushing towards there. Okay, now let's go to that bit. Yeah, I think now I can just share I'll just share the pictures for the war summary. Good morning, Hextax. Great to see you. So I'm hoping, that's why, like I was saying, I'm trying to hopefully get more of into a recap mode, and I don't want to start getting lost into the weeds so much. So hopefully you guys can also help me out. Yet again, trying to find the clear spots of what we know, the foggy spots and the dark spots, and try to get a bit more focus. Like, what in the world is going on right now with Japan and China over there? The last time I remember hearing about them was Japan saying to China, don't you start going down the monarch or the monarch, I can't say it, I can't pronounce it right, but don't start going down that road, or whatever route they wanted to go with the government, that type of stuff. That's all I know. Oh my gosh. And don't forget about, we've also got the Americans right now with that secret little thing there with Colonel House and Bethmann Holvig or whatever. So there's a lot of diplomatic stuff. Actually, this is going to be the new book I'm reading at home. Oh my God, it's so delicious. I just started and it's a sweetie. But that's what's replacing my trench warfare book. And then I've got a rinky-dink little book that I'm bringing around. Okay, let's go to the war summary and read that out. So what I'm and remember, they're learning. Everybody's learning. They're adapting. They're going to make mistakes, but think about, I mean, everything's changing so fast. It's not just learning new tactics, but while they're doing that, the technology is still outpacing them. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, we were looking. Remember, I'm not sure if it was last week or the week before, when I popped down the comparison photos of the planes, and you saw one plane at like 1914. It's like 60 miles per hour, and then by 1918, the thing is going more than twice its speed. You know, and its ceiling is like off the charts kind of thing compared to the other that type of, and its range and so on and so forth. And that's only in 4 years, for goodness sakes. And that's just one piece of technology we're talking about. Yeah. Anyways, let's get to the. All right, we got that. Wardrobe plays World War II. Hello all, great to see you. Okay, now we're going to go to present, share the screen. Window. Please let me know, like I said, if it's too big, too small. I found this one really good this week, so I don't mind reading it out a little bit, and we'll go from there. The British House of Commons yesterday assented to the second reading to the compulsion bill by a vote. And remember, I was saying, I'm sorry about this. I want to find out, is this got anything to do with the Easter uprising later on? Or is this like adding a bit of fuel to the flames for the Irish independence movement? I have no idea. By a vote of 431 to 39. And as a result of a conference with Mr. Asquith, the Labour members of the ministry withdrew the resignations upon the assurance that there is no ulterior motive behind the bill. Thus ends what a week ago looked like a real political crisis, containing possibilities of the reconstruction of the government, of a general election, and even the retirement of Mr. Asquith himself. Good God, the guy's just been popped in. The British, remember, in the spring, the British people, having by the comparatively mild measure of conscription embraced in the compulsion bill, made provision for the forcible enlistment of a few 100,000 available single men who have not offered to enlist, are now assured that if the need, wait until you see some stuff later on, oh my gosh, that if the need arises, a total of almost 3.5 million additional men fit for active service can be secured in the United Kingdom for the strengthening of the army. Well, you're going to see. I'm just amazed that they actually mentioned this. I'm like, are you? I am just shocked. In the course of the debate, it has been stated officially that the wastage by death, disease, wounds, and all other causes of the troops at the front is 15% a month, and that to maintain an effective army of 1 million men in the fighting line for a year would require a total enrollment of 2.8 million. The problem of making good the wastage, God, what a word, is the great problem of the war, and the Allies' hopes of the victory during the present year are based chiefly on the belief that Germany and Austria are no longer able to put fresh men into the trenches in numbers equal to those who, from one cause or another, disappear from the front. Yet again, that attritive nature of this war. Wardrobe says, is there a World War II equivalent of Der Weltkrieg? I suppose it would be Europa. Yes, Wardrobe, it is. And specifically that you mentioned that, Dave Schroeder, when he talks about what he wanted to do, if you look and go to, I think the Grand Campaign designer notes. I'm not positive if it's in there, but he mentions that this is exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to compete with Europa. And if you actually he talks about wanting to use the maps for Cold War, all the way up to Cold War, like Korean type stuff. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He wanted to go all the way with this. The Bulgars and Austro-Germans are apparently moving towards Salonika. Their lines for the past month have been just north of the Greek border. A Paris official report states that on Tuesday, heavy cannonading was heard from the direction of Doran, which would indicate that the first attack on the new campaign has been made. If vigorously assailed, the Allies will not endeavor to hold their advanced posts on the frontier, but will withdraw to the lines prepared for them for defense, some 20 miles, which is 1.5 der Weltkrieg. Yes. It is believed that the heavy German and Austrian guns brought up to make Salonika untenable will not be able to do damage at the extreme range they must use. The Montenegrin defense is crumbling now that Mount Leuven, or I'm not really sure if that's how it's pronounced, Meandering says, or SPI's war in Europe, or the Decision Games version. Oh, yes. And Meandering, like yet again, like I was saying about us trying to fill in the gaps, please, people. I need to know what games people have played, World War I related. The Montenegrin defense is crumbling now that Mount Leuven is in the hands of the Austrians. Just pop them in my comments. An official dispatch from Setenge says that the enemy are now advancing on the Montenegrin capital, that the archives have been removed, and that preparations for evacuation are in progress. The Montenegrin army's line of retreat will be south towards the Albanian frontier. The Serbs now hold Scutari, an Albanian town some 35 miles, 3 hexes. Yes, a mile south of Setenge in considerable force, and the Montenegrins will doubtless join them there and refit for the spring campaign. The Bulgars are still trying to reach the Adriatic by a westerly march across Albania. Meandering Mike says the word for Wardrobe's World War II question. Yes, the Bulgars are still trying to reach the Adriatic by a westerly march across Albania, but their progress is very slow. And as the Italians hold the only ports of value, Avlona and Durazzo, it is difficult to understand what the Bulgars hope to gain by their invasion. Some time ago, it was reported that the Allies had notified Greece of their intention to use the splendid villa and grounds on the island of Corfu, belonging to the Kaiser, as a resting place for the Serbian troops who now wait refitting from Italian stores. The plan of the Allies has been put into effect. A French warship has landed a detachment of troops on the island to prepare for the arrival of the Serbs, and 14 ships of unknown nationality are reported to be cruising around Corfu. There is some satisfaction in the knowledge that the Kaiser is the involuntary host of soldiers whom he has dispossessed for a time at their own homes. Oh, I love this one. And I'm like, where is McMurray and all these naval people? There is relative calm on the Galician and Bessarabian. I really want to know, hammer down, where is Bessarabia fronts, according to the official Russian report. On the Baltic front, south of Riga, the Russians hold the north and the Germans the south bank of the river Nis. No, it's the next bit, the Turkish dispatch, sorry. A German attempt to cross the river was frustrated. In the same region, Russian and German scouts met during a reconnaissance, and the Russians, though less numerous, put the enemy to flight. To the west of Vinsk, in the region of the Punavet Railway, Russian scouts cut the German wire entanglements and dislodged the enemy from their trenches with hand grenades. A general renewal of activity along the Vina, while its waters are icebound, is not improbable. The Turkish dispatch, recording an action of half an hour's duration at long range between the Sultan Selim, Bessarabia, just going to quickly pop it in here. Boink. Bessarabia is the area between Romania and Ukraine, now called Moldova. Thanks, man. The Turkish dispatch recording an action of half an hour's duration at long range between the Sultan Selim, formerly the German battlecruiser Goeben, and the Russian battleship Empress Maria is the first official reference to the appearance of Russia's new super dreadnoughts. When I read that, I was like, oh, God, McMurray, where are you? Well, I was reading it by myself way back when. William Arends, Bessarabia is present-day Moldova. Thank you. Well, I don't even know where Moldova is, and I'm going to have to go and look that up, too. Where are we here? When the war broke out, Russia had 4 rather old and poorly armed pre-dreadnoughts in the Black Sea, none of which could have faced the Goeben before that vessel was injured by the explosion of a mine, which made it necessary to patch her bows with reinforced concrete. What the hell? That just freaked me right out. In default of suitable steel plate. The Russians had 3 super dreadnoughts on the stocks, however, and well underway. They are probably all completed now, and their main batteries of 12-inch guns each would make short work of Turkey's remaining warships in the stand-up fight. Russia's command of the Black Sea is absolute if the super dreadnoughts Alexander III, Marie, and Catherine II are now in commission. The French Midnight Report tells of effective artillery action at many points on the front, especially in Champagne and the heights of the Meuse, and in the... Now, Brian R. Smith last week, Meandering Mike, was saying that the S is silent. I don't know how to say this then. So I'm going to go Vogue. I don't know. In the Argonne, the Germans, after what must have been long and patient preparation, exploded at Hill 285, a mine, which the report says caused a vast excavation around which quite a spirited engagement with grenades continued all day. We have strongly organized the rim to the south of the crater. A German attempt to attack near Forges under cover of gas was brought to naught by a French artillery curtain of fire, which prevented the enemy from leaving his trenches. Oh my God, that's awesome, actually, Gamers with Coffee, because we've only got a couple of minutes left, and you're the third treat if you would have popped up. Vons? Oh, darn it. You're going to have to help me out later. Excellent. This was perfect. I was going to go and maybe take a look at some of the headline things, but I'm like, screw this. We can actually now go and show the third treat. So Gamers with Coffee, last week on your show, you were mentioning that you were really fascinated by Cher Ami, the carrier pigeon. And I went, okie dokie, I'll remember that. And so off we go to show you a couple of things. How do you like that? And that'll be the third treat. I got to do another guy. All right. Hold on here. Oh, perfect timing, Gamers with Coffee. Perfect flipping timing, man. Like you couldn't have, you couldn't have done it. Like, so I'm glad you're late. In a weird way. Oh my God. Here you go. So I'm going to present the screen. And I went, I hope to remember to show you. So here's the 1:72 scale. Hold on. I'm going to make sure it's, so this is by Rodin, and you're into modeling and whatnot. So I thought, hey man, they actually make a 1:72 scale pigeon loft bus that you can get. And I've had this on my my wish list for quite some time. But there you go. I wanted you to see it, and we're about almost finished. And I'll show you one more link. I'm going to show you somebody who's painted it all up nice. This is perfect. I can't believe you just popped in, man. That is just excellent. All right, you can see it. So, oops, I should have translated. It doesn't matter. But there you go. Someone did I think, I love it when people do those backdrop things, if it's done well. Anyways, I thought you guys would want to take a look at this person's, did an amazing job on this little diorama and did the 1:72 scale thing. I'm going to stop sharing because we only got 2 minutes left. Meandering Mix as well has a very nice niche model. And I guess I'll pop it in there. I would, 1:72 scale. It'd be so cool to have. Gamers with Coffee says, sorry, plowed all night, tired, slept in. Yeah, no, you must have got the same storm we did. That's it. We've got about 2 minutes left. I'm not going to go into the show you because it will take too long to get to the Globe headlines, but there are some outstanding ones. All I got to say yet again is with this trench warfare book, he alludes to it, or he mentions it, and then afterwards I started going a mile a minute with it, looking at other things, and that's why I was saying with the Not So Quiet on the Western Front, episode 9, Generals, that they posted yesterday. And they start talking about, oh, you know, this went well or that went well. And I'm like, yeah, well, maybe it went, okay. There's there's a lot of takeaways I got from this book. One biggie is that these tacit truces and whatnot had an impact on the battlefield. They did sometimes determine the outcome of battles. Secondly, he mentions that the French mutinies of 1917, I don't know anything about it. And that historians are often dumbfounded that the Germans didn't know about it. Charles Latora says, sunny and cold here. Well, it's warm and cloudy here. And the author, Tony Ashworth, says, odds are the Germans knew and just let them go, live and let live. And later on, I went, oh my God, I remember this hearing about the miracle. I'm not sure if it was 1 corps or 2 corps or whatever. The miracle of transporting this huge amount of Canadian troops from one area of the Western Front. I think it was in preparation for the 100. I don't know yet. This is like far ahead. Meandering is 11 degrees Fahrenheit here now. Charles Latora says Madagascar. Was that it? Oh, thank you. The answer to Professor Latora's head scratcher. Well done. Never would have got that in a trillion years. Oh my gosh, I've got sidetracked a tiny bit. Well, it's 12 o'clock, so I can finish off there because I can't remember what the hell I was saying. But it was about the trench thing. I remember even wanting to watch the lecture. And also, just to let you know, the Western Front Association has, they just posted a lecture this week on something to do with Mesopotamia and whatnot. I was like, oh my gosh, just not there yet. I'm not there to get it. Was Rob Thompson talking about this amazing move of the Canadian troops and you know, they did it secretly and so on and so forth and were able to, you know, move. And I'm like, yeah, they probably did, but I'm wondering how much of this live and let live also had to do with it. You know, it's just fascinating. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Remember, please, if there's any games that you can remember that you played World War I related, please pop them in the comments somewhere. Anywhere that I can find, and that way I'll start trying to do a database type of a thing. Thank you again, Professor Latora, for your weekly head scratcher. If you want to keep doing this, like I said, it's your segment, man, so go for it. Meandering says, I'm having spicy tavern cheddar on chicken and sipping Diet Coke for breakfast. Love it. I love hearing these type of crazy things. And why not? I mean, it's whatever time of day. Charles Latora says, your friends were very harsh on the native population once they found out. Tolemykus says, later, folks. Yes, have a great day. Thank you again. And off we go for live stream 60 next week with Harold Bosma. Okay, great to see you guys. Bye.